don't know what you think about this, and maybe this isn't the best way to start out a conversation, but let's go here. Do you ever wonder what your grandparents were like when they were younger?
Yeah, I do actually. Apparently my grandma smoked weed. I do know that.
Oh, really? Nice.
Because for some reason, my soon-to-be brother-in-law asked her that question. I have no idea why. I don't know how that came up. I don't know how that went down. I have no idea. But, yeah, she was like, yeah, of course.
Like it's not even a question.
All right.
I mean, you
was pretty, like liberal, I guess, but I didn't realize she was, like, that liberal.
Like one of those pot smokers.
Yeah.
Do you ever wish you had smoked with your grandmother?
I mean, the thing is, like, that would have been really funny, but the problem with me and that is it makes me very paranoid. So I'd probably be like, am I sounding stupid? Oh, my God, my grandma thinks I'm high. Oh, wait, she's high, so that's fine. But it's not okay if I am, though. And
what if she's actually a cop?
Right.
She's going to send her granddaughter to jail.
Yeah. She's a cop and I gave her weed. Oh, my God. I did, God, there was one time I took one of my friends gave me coconut oil and THC oil, like THC oil pill thing, capsule. And I took it because I was like, well, maybe it'll help me sleep because I have non-24 and like, I was like, I would like to get to sleep at a decent hour today. So I took that and I was like, I'm not really feeling anything because I'm used to melatonin. So, that hits within 30 minutes or so probably. And because it's something your body already makes. So it doesn't have to really, I assume that's why. I don't know why exactly. But so I wasn't really feeling anything after an hour. So I was like, okay, well, I guess either my tolerance is really high for that for some reason, which doesn't really make any sense because I don't do it a lot, or, this was like a really weak strain or something like that. And then all of a sudden it was just like, whoa, like I thought I was going to die.
I thought you were going to say that you took a lot more.
No, thank God, no. Oh my God. No. I know you can't die from it, or that's what they say anyway, but I did. I thought I was going to die. I actually had to call someone and be like, so I know that, everybody says, like, you can't die from an overdose of marijuana, but, is it possible that somebody put something by accident in here that I'm not used to, that...
So this is interesting. When I was at TED last week, one of the speakers there was talking about legalized marijuana and how in our society, it's not so much that we're legalizing weed, it's that we're legalizing THC. And he was talking about some of the ramifications about that. And he said that it's not your grandfather's weed. It's not even your parents' weed. It's like this new strain that's just designed to get you high without any of the medical benefits.
Yeah. Oh, really? Without any? Oh, uh-oh.
That was his theory, and he was also like a former addict, so he probably had, his own biases, and people can always find ways to make data work to sort of endorse what they're trying to say. So it's possible that he was full of shit, but it sounded reasonable at the time.
Yeah. Well, it's former addicts or current recovering addicts or whatever they like to call themselves. I don't know. They are very much like zero tolerance as far as I can tell. Like one drink and you're an alcoholic again. And
you're back.
Like, you're back. Oh my God. Everything's going to go to shit and to hell. And I don't necessarily look, I'm not an addict or an alcoholic. So I guess I can't speak to this on very much authority, but I don't know if I agree with that. Because there are some people that, recreationally, have drinks and it's not a problem. And there are some people that recreationally use weed and it's not like it's like, oh, wake and bake,
Well, I will tell you this. I've known people who've had trouble with alcohol and then they've taken a break, gone back to it, without having the negative side effects. And now they can have 1 or 2 drinks and they'll be fine. It's not like they have 1 drink and suddenly their wife leaves them and their kids are gone and they lose their house.
And they're like, oh, I need a whole bottle now. Gin. Like they're pouring gin over themselves or something, like, ah.
Right.
It's not like that. Although it is for some people. I get that. But I think that the whole premise of it, I mean, I guess maybe it's like better safe than sorry. Maybe that's the idea. I don't know.
So my thought is that maybe AA likes to promote that idea that if you have 1 drink, you're addicted again, because then it keeps people going back to AA and it keeps them sort of in the cycle. And not to say that it hasn't been helpful for people, but you got to remember it was founded in, I want to say either the 30s or the 40s, and they got to keep the racket going.
Sure. And I mean, it's, a lot of people like I want to say like addicted almost to the meetings. Like that's what they do with their day.
For sure.
Instead of drink. They're like, I'm going to go to an AA meeting and then after that we're going to all hang out and then after that I'm going to go date with this AA person and after that we're going to go to a meeting and after that, like, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. I know it's been helpful for some people, but.
No, but I am.
Oh, I know. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a better safe than sorry theory. Like if you are that kind of person that stops drinking and makes their life better and you do have a drink and then you need a whole bottle, they'd rather not have you deal with that. Maybe. But I just don't know that that's the case for everybody.
Well, I mean, you think that it really can't be the case for everybody because we're so different from each other. You know, there are 7 billion people on this planet, and one of the cool things about being a human is that we're all individuals in our own weird way.
Yeah. So, like, somebody who, you know, takes a break from it after having issues or whatever, they might be like, yeah, this is fun to, like, go out and have 1 or 2 drinks with friends, but I don't need to get wasted. I'm, like, some people just grow out of it.
Yeah, a lot of times, and it also could be triggered by a dramatic event, right? So maybe you're drinking and it's like right after your mom died or one of your best friends got severely injured or something like that. So it triggers you to go on drinking binges for like 6 months. And then after that period of time, you would be fine, but people have introduced to you the idea of AA and now you need to be indebted to that program forever.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It feels, I don't know. I know it's helped some people, and so if anybody's hearing this, I know there's probably going to be a lot of backlash on this, but yeah, I just don't think that it's necessary for everyone. And,
I mean, I completely agree with you. And one thing you should consider, too, is Bill Wilson, one of the founders of AA, was into psychedelics. They never talk about psychedelics as a tool for curing addiction to alcohol.
No, they never do. Oh. Oh, gosh. I didn't realize that. That's funny. Like, yeah.
I want to say it wasn't mushrooms, but I want to say he was into LSD. But you should probably Google that. But I know for sure he was into psychedelics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh. And the whole notion about, like, well, if you have more than, 2 drinks in a week or something like that. I don't know exactly the number, but it's like if you have more than like 2 drinks or 3 drinks or some crazy thing a week, you're an alcoholic. I'm like, no, wrong.
It doesn't take into account the size of the person and what their week has been like. And some people just have a way higher tolerance to alcohol.
Well, and sorry, but like then everybody this next week is an alcoholic, pretty much, who has wine on Thanksgiving,
I will tell you this. I'm in the middle of taking 3 months off of drinking, and I never really noticed how much I drank before. So I never drink at home. I think the last time I had anything to drink in my place was like 2006. But I do go out a lot, and it's really interesting to notice how much I used to drink in a former week. It wasn't a lot, but I'd say I'd have like 4 or 5 drinks in a week before taking this break.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and socially and whatnot.
Sure.
But yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting because that is a big piece of, like, the music industry. You play in bars, and they're like, well, we can't pay you, but here's a free drink. And you're like, oh, okay.
Here's some poison.
I can't waste that free drink. Like, I'm not, So, I mean, it is a big piece of the music/artist industry is like drugs and alcohol and whatnot. And I haven't done anything stronger than, like, weed or alcohol, as a, if you're counting both those as drugs.
You mean like ever?
They get you high. Never.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you feel that you've missed out in life in a sense because of that?
Well, not particularly, because I don't like when I get too drunk, and I don't like when I get too high. So I think anything stronger would just make me uncomfortable during the whole process.
And you don't think that you'd have, like, some insight if you experimented with psychedelics that would transfer over to music?
Everybody says that, but, like, I don't know. I think I have a unique enough perspective as it is, I guess. I don't know. Maybe not, but I mean, a lot of people I've heard say that, like, oh, well, it could help you with your writing, or it could help you with your music, and I'm like, okay, but I've listened to music that I know has been written by people on psychedelics at the time, and I'm just like, this is not, like, some of it's good, but some of it I'm just like, this is not good. Why? Like, this song has gone on for, like, 2 hours, and, like, this is not good.
So have you ever tried to write music when you were stoned or drunk?
Yeah, but mostly it just makes me lazy. Like, I'm just like, I could go get the computer, but I'm not going to because I'm too high. But I will.
When you're with the family this week, are you going to partake in any of that stuff? Or are you going to stay relatively sober?
I would say I'll have some wine, but I think I'm not going to get, like, crazy, because you're
not going to do like topless dancing at the dinner table or anything.
No. I mean, because not to say that not the topless dancing, but not to say that hasn't happened. Like, oh, I've gotten too drunk. Like, sure, that's happened to most people, but I just kind of don't like it anymore. I like the social aspect of it. Of like, oh yeah, hey, let's go to Taco Bar and get, tacos and margaritas and, chips and salsa and have a good time. I like that. And, it loosens you up a little bit, so that's good too. But I don't know. I just don't really like the feeling anymore of, like, waking up and being like, what happened?
Who am I apologizing to?
Exactly. Like, what did I do, and who do I need to talk to, and who do I need to avoid because I don't want to ever talk to them again? Don't like. You used to like.
Yeah, I used to drink a lot when I was living in Honolulu, and I was with this particular group of people. Eventually, we got the joke to where we'd all say, hi to each other at the beginning of the night and just say, "I'm sorry in advance of what's going to happen."
I'm sorry if I call you a bitch. I'm sorry.